Hello, welcome back to EU4 and the Timelapse special. Right now, so I did create and edit a proper time-lapse in the Dovska style. The only thing I need to do is just add in the little ruler, names and titles and monarch points, but I just got in to do that, and I accidentally deleted the file, so I'm not putting in all that bloody work again. I'm sorry. I've done it once, I'm not doing it again. So what you've got instead of this is this minimum effort time-lapse. So we'll start here. So first of all, we start off with just the unification of the Central American region. As you can see, slightly slower than my first attempt, but that meant that I was in a better position afterwards, so it was much better. So yeah, I've got a little bit of a power base there, just slowly taking little bits of land. Then there'll come a bit where I don't take anything because of the doom. As you can see, that's this bit. I made Quiche release Zapotec down there, as you can see, although that never really amounted to anything at the end. Shu's getting big. You are a big boy, aren't you? Aren't you? As you can see, just busy vassalizing and passing reforms at this stage, and starting to colonize as well. But then I can start to take more land, as all the... I think it was like the penultimate reform got passed at this stage. And then I can colonize in an even better place. And then I passed the final reform, and it was just a case of eating as much as I could in the shortest amount of time possible. Like that. The idea being to just close off as much of this as I possibly can in the time period. In the shortest time as possible, I meant to say. So there goes Shu, so I'm the only one left. So we continue to colonize. We get our colony next to France, Ziz colony. And in a moment, we should lose a war with them. Let's see. Yeah, just trying to colonize around them at this point. Just try and get as much land for myself as I possibly can. I did try to fight France, but it wasn't happening. I would have done better if it weren't for those stupid, say right, that happened. Let's just pause so I can talk. Yeah, I would have, it would have gone a lot better, but there was one point where there was, you get your disloyal Altebets, don't you, and they throw up rebellions whenever you're at war with a Westerner. And it said they will rise up in this province, wherever it was. I think it was like around here. So I put my army there. I clicked the button, and they showed up over here. So then I had to march all the way over there, then fight them, march all the way, and by which point all the other various armies had met up, so I couldn't pick them off one by one, which is what I was doing. So yeah, really, I know this just sounds like a bad work on Blames' tools, but the game really did screw me over in this war, which meant that I had to surrender a load of land, rather. But it was no big in the end, because France did have to return some of it to me. Which I think has actually happened so quickly that you didn't see it there, but it did happen. They took more and had to return it to me. We then had a nice big war against Frexico. I'm not entirely sure when exactly that was. It was here, and we full annexed them. So this was that was our first major victory. Puts us in a great position. Then there was a war against Castile for these things over here, and we took all of that from them. We made our way into the Caribbean. Continued colonizing. I think next came, I can't remember whether it was a war against Britain next. Well, there's a war against Castile. It was either Britain or Spain. It was one of these two. Just basically all these people who putting colonies on my continent, damn you. So we're trying to hem in the 13 colonies there as well, as you can see. Zoom out. There we are. The next war was against Castile, and we took all of whatever island that is. Meanwhile, we're just trying to close in as much of this as we possibly can, trying to stop the French and the English there. We won a war against Britain there and took the essentials of trade in Panama. And then we took the rest of the Caribbean islands from Spain. Meanwhile, the next stuff is up here. We start taking out the natives, and we finger our way right up into French Canada. However, there was a coalition war, which unfortunately, because of my yeah, it just came at the wrong time and they attacked my allies and the war score was terrible, so I just surrendered that land to them, surrendered that back to Britain. I thought I'll take it later. It's no biggie. So as you can see, French Canada is getting rather big at this stage. So we're now trying to hem them in as well, which is a little bit awkward because obviously they have free reign over here. Freedom to roam, freedom to reign, or something like that anyway. But mainly at this stage, it's just about putting my tendrils up into the continent, trying to stop them as much as I can, because obviously I don't want a big scary neighbour right on my doorstep when I'm trying to invade another continent. I don't want to have to split my troops across 2 continents like that. It's never fun. But as you can see, the best I could do was just to limit them to pretty much like real life Canada itself. Now you see that I have run out of room. There was a big war here against, that was against Britain and their ally Portugal, so I took back the land that I had originally took from them, and this was everything in the Caribbean trade node basically, because I wanted to make sure I had full control there because I was collecting there as well. So that was the good result of that war, and I thought I'll take these guys out as well because they're just annoying. It was annoying having to, whenever I fought them, having to run some troops up there as well to deal with that. But I left them the Aleuts there. So yeah, pretty good, as you can see. Didn't take anything off the 13 colonies at this stage, or did I? I can't remember, I can't go back, but you would have seen. You can go back in your video. Yeah, and then I'm just filling in gaps here, as you can see. The next big war down here, I can't remember who it's against. As you can see, we're getting near the end of the game now. We're just filling in the gaps because it's essentially just giving us free. Well, it's not free development because you have to pay for the colony, but it is giving us the development, which means we have more taxes in the future. And so, okay, so the next war was against Britain. We fully annexed. No, we didn't fully annex them. We left a bit of the 13 colonies there, but we basically fully annexed them. We took all of British Columbia and most of British Peru, so that's just all that's left of them now, which is good. And our name was in the right place, so that was a very good war. At some point we have taken it already. We had to take Bermuda off of France, so we got the No Pirates in My Caribbean achievement. Then our next war was against France themselves. We took a huge amount of land here. We got rid of all their other colonies, so they just have French Canada there now, which makes my life a lot easier in future because there's only one army to deal with. And they've just got all the shitty Arctic lands basically at this stage. The next war was, I believe, against Britain, so we'll pop down here to have a look at that. It's going to be fairly obvious what's going to happen. Wait for it. Only 20 years left of the game at this point. There we go. So we took all of that off of Britain, so we kicked them off of our continent. The next war, these are my client states, by the way, because I was going for the full house achievement. Likewise, Darsh is a Marshy March. Yep, the next war is against French Canada. So we'll just, there we go, we took out the Iroquois. We re-annexed our client states, apart from Darsh, because I didn't have time for that one, unfortunately. There we go, French Canada is gone. And so the only people left on our continent now are, well, we've got some French down there. We've got some Dutch and some Portuguese. But with only 9 years left, we only really have time to deal with one of those. And it is the Dutch. So there you go. That's how it was. That's the way the cookie crumbles. That's the final empire. However, that's not the full story. Let's have a look at Europe. And we'll go a little bit faster on this stage. Okay. So the very first country I dealt with was England, because I knew that they had the navy, and I was going for like naval victories every time. Basically, that was how I drove my war score up, and I didn't want to have to deal with their navy, like in the future or in repeated times. I wanted to make sure that I only had to land troops on Britain once, if I really wanted to. As it turned out, I did it a lot more often than that, but that was the idea behind it. Just take London first. Bob's your uncle. So as I'm chatting, you can just see what happened in Europe as well. Bohemia got the Burgundian inheritance. France just ate all of Iberia, pretty standard. Then, any minute now, you should start to see a bit of green appear. Any minute now. Any minute now. I'm fairly certain I did it in the 17th century, so it should be soon. Any minute now. The Netherlands formed in the end, so Bohemia never kept hold of it, which is hardly surprising, because, yeah, it never really tends to. France continues to eat Castile and Cetera. There is London, so that was mid 17th century. So that was fairly easy. I actually can't remember who the next ones I took. Where the next ones I took were, where they were. Papal State, as you can see, has taken all of Italy, so that's going to make getting Rome tricky. A lot of the time you see it where like Italy's split up into various countries, so it's a lot easier. But when you have to fight all of Italy, that's a nightmare. Anyway, so the next guys I attacked was Castile, because they just lost a big war against France. Now the issue with this was, my idea was to release Galicia and Leon as marches, and then take Madrid for myself, but then I couldn't core through my vassal because they were on another continent, so I just gave it to Leon. I thought I'll integrate them later. It was only after I stopped recording that I was like, shit, I could have just made a client state out of Madrid, and then I could have kept Leon, because now I have to integrate Leon, and Leon's ideas are better than Galicia's. I think Galician ideas are better, but Leon had taken like offensive, defensive, and quality or something, so they would have made a way better march. But oh well, what can you do? It didn't matter in the end. I didn't really need them that much in the end. So that's what happened there. I had to give them Madrid in order to then integrate them. And then I couldn't integrate them until I had a border with them where they were within my colonial range. So that meant I had to take their core of Asturias back from France. But we'll worry about that later. France, however, took advantage of the weak Castile and just ate the rest of them, which was going to make my life a lot more difficult. The next war was against Portugal and the Papal State. I think I was alliance wrangling the whole bloody game, you just take it as a given. But I was able to take Lisbon and Rome in one war, which was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And I think there should be a major penalty on the war score for giving up your capital, because taking one province is not a lot of war score, which meant that you can quite easily just take Rome, which seems like it should be more difficult. You know, there should be like a minus, a big number for taking someone's capital, I think. Anyway, so Netherlands was my ally at this point, which is why I ended up losing that big coalition war against France, was because they just invaded the Netherlands and got a load of war score and so on. So I used the Humiliate Rival CB against France and made them release Gascony and Normandy with the intention of vassalizing Normandy so that I could get to Paris very easily. However, as you'll see later on, that didn't work. I couldn't vassalize them and France just ate them again. However, Gascony did end up to be a good ally, which was nice, and obviously it took some development out of France. There were loads of people you could release from France. There was Catalonia there was Brittany, there was like Lorraine, I think there was Savoy, of course, and Provence that could have been released there, but I just never got around to doing any of it. There was Aragon, which was like 3 provinces there, but Catalonia would have been much better. I wanted to release Gascony and Catalonia, but I think Gascony was 50 war score and Catalonia was 53, so I just couldn't do it. It was impossible. But not to worry. So as we continue, we'll see that at some point, some Netherlands got attacked by some people, so I broke the alliance and just quickly swept in and took Holland from them. So that was really easy, actually. That was probably the easiest one I did. You can see I've integrated Leon. I kept Madrid for myself and gave the rest to Galicia. Rather than releasing Leon again, I thought there was no point. Galicia was already a march, you see, so I didn't want to revoke, because they'd already had their independence supported by France, and I was like, I'm not going through that again. It was quite good, actually. When I declared war on France, the support independence went away and they became loyal, so that was quite nice. It's a good way to do that if you're in that situation. So it's only Paris left now. So, I mean, you could probably see from the terrain, I've already got it, and I did get it there, in fact, in the early 18th century. It was actually fairly easy. I out-Frenched the French. I had like big armies, big morale, big discipline, big fun. It was a good time, and then the rest of it was just spent fucking things up. We'll just speed through the rest of Europe. There was various things. If you get to this stage, there's just so much you can do. In the end, I just decided to chop France in half for the sake of it. And then I released Wales as well. I think at some point I released Scotland too, but you'll see that in a moment. There we are. Gave Wales some land, took some land for myself. It really helps. I mean, at this stage of the game, it's already finished. It doesn't really matter. But having controlling opposite sides of a channel makes it so easy to ferry troops across because you can just dock them and you don't have to wait a month for them to get off the boat. But yeah, I think that is pretty much it. That's all I did. Obviously, my plan was to integrate Wales and so on and so forth, but I just never had the time. It doesn't matter though. So let's go back into the timeline and we'll just go for the world overview. Oh, there was one more thing I did, which was I colonized the Philippines over here. But there's not a lot to see there. I just literally just colonized them. Alright, so this is the full world. Quick replay. You can see the green menace spread from Mesoamerica. You can read our name now. Oh, bit of saliva there, sorry about that. Bit of impromptu ASMR for you all at home. You can, yeah, you can see our name, so that's when you know things are starting to work out. Oh look, Denmark had Norway integrated, and then Sweden just ate them. It's quite funny all the little things that you never notice. Like I've even looked through this time-lapse, you know, looked through this timeline myself a few times whilst I was editing. I've never noticed any of this stuff. So, Denmark became Iceland, not Norway. That's funny. You usually see Norway do it, don't you? Oh, there's me losing to France. And in a moment, you'll see me beat France comprehensively. Wait for it. There we go. Okay, so that was the tipping point. The pipping point. So you get to link in what happened in Europe to what happened at home now as well. So there goes the first war against Spain. There goes London, and I took some of the other land from them as well. And there goes the first war against the war against Castile. There goes bits of France and Rome and that. I mean, Rome and Lisbon. There goes Holland. And there goes Paris. Fantastic, and the rest of it is just for fun. So yeah, I did a lot in the last sort of 50 years or so. Look at this. It's just blobbing, isn't it? You get to a point where you're just suddenly really good. The more you blob, the better you are, and the better you are, the more you can blob. That's how it works. Cool, and that's it. Oh, so yeah, next thing to do is look at some of these map modes. We got the diplomatic map mode. These are my allies: own Scandinavia, Austria, Gascony, and my vassals, Galicia and Wales. The trade map mode. As you can see, we are collecting in Mexico, Panama, and the Caribbean. That was the best way to do it, because it just was. We have a lot of trade in other places as well, but not enough merchants, unfortunately. I could do with a merchant in Lima pushing up to Panama to collect there, but I don't at all, which is a shame, because that would give me a lot more money. We'll have a look at the money situation in a moment, whilst after we looked at the map modes. Even in Mexico, I'm not doing as well as I'd like. Ah, Japan is pushing trade away, that's why. Full 100% in Rio Grande, that's nice. There's the California node. Mississippi River is 99. There's Ohio, Chesapeake, Gulf of St. Lawrence, and Hudson Bay. Well, they're similar colours, aren't they? That's not very good. And if we head over here as well, we can see I've got only 43% in the Aztec Moluccas there, which is a shame. Not to worry. Have a look at some of the trade goods that we've got as well. Oh, It's been replaced with the wrong thing. Oh, damn. It's because of the... whenever there's an update, ruins everything. It'd be an economic, wouldn't it? I'll tell you what, let's just go through each of the bloody things. Imperial map modes. There is the Empire. Burgundy the Emperor. Wom. Looking good. Culture, this is the important thing. So over here, mainly Aztec, but obviously the stuff I took at the very end I didn't have time to convert. But as you can see, the Aztec is seeping through, which is very nice. The accepted cultures, just to give you an idea of what my empire itself looks like just by itself. Over here, though, very nicely, we've converted all of our capitals and, in fact, all of that land to Aztec as well, which is pretty good. Just Kent, which we only just took at the end, wasn't converted. Religious, Nawat, absolutely fantastic. And all my missionaries are going, converting things as we speak. Obviously, happens a lot quicker than culture. And everything over here is converted as well, including Rome. Check it out. Pretty good. Okay, that's everything political. Let's have a look at diplomatic. We've seen opinion, always worth checking out. Just my allies, really, isn't it? Everyone else absolutely hates me, which is unsurprising. Coalition. Britain did join a coalition. Interesting. Who else have we got? France is at 32. They're at 51, 57. Yeah. But everyone is too scared of me to join the coalition. Isn't it wonderful? Oh, who's this? Tupinamba. Oh, no. These are my rivals. Okay, economic map mode. Development. Everyone loves to see this. So we'll have a look at Europe first. As you can see, it's developed a lot, as Europe does. Yeah. Paris, for example, is a 40 development. 41. You win. Let's have a look at my gaff over here. Yeah, not a lot of development from me. There's my capital. It's the most developed province that I developed anyway, although I have conquered a lot of high development provinces. These were various colonial nations' capitals, that's why. Yeah. But yeah, mainly I just got my huge development from the fact I had loads of land. Let's look at autonomy. It's not too bad. You can see, well, I've only just conquered is obviously the highest autonomy. And things that aren't in states as well. Trade goods, here we are. So the great thing about colonizing the American interior is you get like a fuck ton of fur. Look at this. Got some string. Lots of coffee. Of course, the best thing about this area is, look how much gold I got in my colonized provinces as well. Lots of gold, cocoa, tobacco in the Caribbean and all stuff like that. It's all very good stuff. There you go. There's an overview if you know your colours. Technologically, we are at the forefront. Most people have done fairly well, actually. This is 1.17, of course. There's no institutions yet. Trade value. Yeah, never seen that mode before. Loot, not relevant. Okay, so the final one, geographical map mode, states and territories. It's, yeah, fairly obvious, I just stated. I did have enough states to, like, state everything, so I did. And the only things I haven't stated are the things that I've only just conquered, so the autonomy would be too high. Everything else I just went, yep, state, because it's worth it. Yeah, even London and shit, like all of this stuff here is in a state, because it was worth it. There you go. Forts. My one fort. Magic. And yeah, that's it as far as that's concerned. We'll head into this area. See, we're an empire, of course. We're an absolute monarchy because it's the best government form. We got level 3 advisors, stupid regency, but our heir is pretty good. Needs another Moctezuma, of course. Diplomacy, yeah, guaranteeing the independence of Gascony, embargoing people, embargoes by people, truces, access, etc. As the coalition. Nothing. I never colonized South Georgia in the end. Economically, as you can see, colonizing so many provinces gave me load of tax, which meant that my inflation doesn't go up as much because I'm not relying on gold as much, even though I am still making a lot from gold. And there you go. And I do think I had an advisor, didn't I? I did not. There you go. Oh, of course, I took economic ideas, that's why it's going down. Which is awesome. It's nice to see that going down for change. And as you can see, I'm rooting out corruption loads because I'm so overextended at the moment. Holy moly. It's the corruption, yeah. Overextension. Oh no, corrupt officials, unbalanced research. Expensive army, expensive fleet. We'll get to them in a minute. Trade. Not too bad. I'm just collecting in 3 trade nodes. This was how I got the most money. I did experiment with it. Technologically, absolutely fine. I really just didn't care about that. I got to I needed the best ships there, and I just teched this up when I could. Everything else, I was just culture converting, coring, shit like that. Don't need anything else. Idea-wise, I took innovative first for the tech reduction, cost reduction, tech cost reduction, then exploration, so I could colonize and shit. Religious, Deus Vult, and the missionaries. It's absolutely incredible. That's how I ended up with all of this. Then quality, then offensive, then trade, so I could get more money, then economic, so I get even more money, and I started defensive, but never got anything done in it. I think I started quantity, actually, and then changed to defensive. But yeah, never needed it. Yeah, this was for my wars. I just took every fucking policy I could. Discipline, infantry combat ability, morale of armies, artillery combat ability, and siege ability. That's really useful in late game sieges. Yeah, pretty good. I just saw prestige there, so we'll have a look at that. Going up, no biggie. Yep, everything's good here. Got a tiny bit of overextension. I was never going to finish coring all of this. Oh well. Religion-wise, as you can see, our religious unity is only 68%, but that's to be expected with all the land we've just conquered. Military, here we go. So as you can see, our military is just fucking incredible. Our tradition is not great. Our morale, though, is 9.8. We got the force limit 268. Loads of heavies as well. We got 56 heavies, 22 light ships, and 121 transports. Discipline, 127.5%. Hell yeah. Siege ability, 32.6%. Yeah, looking pretty good. As you can see, we got some great generals here. 6 fire. That's brilliant. And we got a 3 siege guy as well. Subjects, we have Wales, we have Galicia, and we have Darsh, who is our Marshy March. And then there's the estates if you want to know about that as well. So yeah, that was Aztec. Hooray, it's finished. So next time I want to do a 1.19 one. I'm thinking probably, I don't know, I don't really know, maybe Denmark for the Iron Price achievement. I don't really know, but let me know if you have any preference. And Jesus, look at my admin. I'll see what I'll do. I'll look at the ledger because people like to see that. Or did I look at that in the last episode? I can't remember. Well, let's just look. Look. We win. We win. Forget them. We win. Alphabetically. Damn it, we don't win alphabetically either. Development as well. What was my development? It was 3,844. Is that one of the things you can see here? Here we are. Yeah, we win in that sense. So brilliant. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.